And this is Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Slick.
And I'm Justin.
And we're here for you on a Saturday morning. This is the, 23rd of July, 2011, for another Tech Talk Radio broadcast. And, it was funny because we were getting all the shots set up this morning, trying to get everything to look right. And we weren't sure. We almost lost Slick. We almost lost Justin. And then Justin was like, he said, well, since we already have the shot set up, I'll go ahead and just, take off. And I'm like, no, dude, you're in San Diego, the hotbed of geekness right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Comic-Con 2011 is here.
So what do you think so far? I mean, what have you seen there in San Diego? Does it, like Vegas, when CES goes to Vegas, you can tell there's a convention, but they've kind of got it covered off to one part of the strip so that the geek doesn't flow over too much. Is that the case in San Diego?
Well, downtown San Diego is pretty much been converted into Nerd Town, USA. The convention center that's downtown, which is across from Petco Park in the Gaslamp District, is just full of thousands and thousands and thousands of everyday people, nerds, geeks, super nerds, you name it, everybody's down there. Across the street in a big parking lot from the convention center, they have the entire town of South Park built at scale. So that's kind of cool. They've got the characters from South Park walking around South Park. Then all the hotels that are very adjacent to Comic-Con, they've got those all set up, and the Comic-Con has actually overflowed into those hotels. So Comic-Con has gotten too big for its own good, for right now, for the convention center at least.
Well, there was talk last year. Do you remember this, Slick? They were talking about them possibly moving Comic-Con out of San Diego, and it's a perfect destination. San Diego is a great town to have this in.
Yeah, and I was thinking, where's the next biggest venue? Las Vegas? I mean, because it seems like almost every convention or gathering or whatever seems to go to Las Vegas, because I will assume, somebody correct me, even in the chat room, that they've got the largest facility. Is that right? Anybody know?
Well, I think you're right.
Yeah, next to I'm wondering how big San Francisco's facilities are. They could be another beach area that could do it.
San Francisco's already got a Comic-Con.
Does it really?
They've got one. Yeah, they've got one that's a couple of months before us.
Right.
It's all part of the same. It's all part of the same thing. I mean, it's all part of the same family, Comic-Con International. But they have their own festival already.
But San Diego is where the biggest announcements come out of, isn't it?
Absolutely. And the thing is they make so much money here. It started in San Diego. It's got to stay in San Diego. It started, I don't remember the year. I think it was like 1975. But it started in the basement of the U.S. Grant Hotel, where it was just a handful of super nerds getting together to talk about the latest comics. And it just exploded year after year. And the thing was, it's really funny. I was talking to one of the guys I work with at Fox. He was talking about that the news coverage was non-existent for the original Comic-Con. The assignment editor, the guy I was talking to, his grandfather was the assignment editor of the news station on the day that the Comic-Con, the original Comic-Con, happened. And he had to, or one of his photographers, who is this assignment editor's best friend's brother or something like that, had to beg him to go cover this. And he was like, that's not news, and it's just a bunch of nerds meeting. And he was like, look, I need to cover this. And he's like, fine, there's nothing else going on today. Go ahead and cover that story. And by covering that story, that's what helped launch Comic-Con to become how big as it is today. And one other thing, too, is the convention center in San Diego is actually planning on remodeling and getting bigger. So that might help them out a little bit.
That's the only problem with San Diego real estate, isn't it? That pretty much everything is there. You have to tear down things to build more or go up.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
There's really no room left. I mean, the property that the convention center sits on, it could possibly get a little bit bigger, but not much. But, I mean, you go down there and it's just, there's hundreds of thousands of people just walking around. It's just insane how many people are down there.
And how many people are in costume down there?
Not as many as I thought there would be. I'd say probably a third.
Really? That's it? Just a third?
Yeah, I'd say about a third. Maybe closer to, I don't know what the next thing up is besides lower than a half, but more than a third, I guess. I don't know.
Now, what about costumes? What are some of the costumes that people have been seeing?
Well, I've seen some. I've seen a lot of stormtroopers. I even saw a battle battle-worn stormtrooper with some scars on his face and stuff. I've seen Spider-Man. Actually, I got called out by the Spider-Man guy. I was around the Spider-Man guy, and he was looking around, and somebody goes, "Hey, Peter, there goes the guy that killed your uncle," and they pointed towards me because I have the blonde hair. If you remember from the first movie.
Did you run?
Like, yeah, I turned around and run, and he goes, and he gets ready in his little Spider-Man pose, and I'm like, oh crap, But I've seen Darth Vader. I got a picture with Darth Vader. Everybody's got to do that. Some Super Mario characters. I saw Boba Fett. I saw Stewie Griffin, Brian Griffin, from Family Guy, and I saw an Altair from Assassin's Creed. I saw that.
Right.
And wow, let's see. I mean, I saw a pimp from Saints Row the Third. Saints Row the Third. I got to tell you about that. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but I'm going to tell you that was my highlight of Comic-Con.
Well,
and here, by the way, this is just want to show you right there. There you go.
Oh, look at that. The Comic-Con badge. That's a shot right there.
There you go. Friday only.
How much did that set you back?
Yeah. Was it
$40?
$40? That's not too bad.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, I was going to get my press pass from working at Fox, but I just didn't follow through on it, and I didn't get it. I could have got a 4-day pass. I tell you what, though, Andy, next year you're going to have to get me E3 badges.
Yeah, I think we'd like to, by next year, hopefully have some sponsorship money behind us and be able to go to E3 Comic-Con. We were trying for this year, but just it was impossible.
Hell, I'll pay my own way. Just give me the badge.
Now, you didn't get a chance to meet Raven. Now, just so you know, here is Raven. This is what Raven looks like. This is her with her other half getting ready to go to Comic-Con. And, of course, she's out there. She's been sending pictures up to her Facebook account. And then this is the weirdest one that she sent. I don't know if you can see her monitors, but this is a weird thing. They've got weird things there. Not only is it comic books, but it's strange thing. This is the talking Tina doll, but it's kind of scary.
That's the thing. They've got this new thing called steampunk, and that's I guess that's the new.
Wait a minute. That's not new. That's old new.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's coming back.
Steampunk.
Yeah, baby. Steampunk.
It's like you got to mix up. You got to mix goth with. No, it is, dude. It really is. You're thinking of something else, then, dude. Because we had this whole segment on Fox about what a steampunk is and how to dress like one, and it combines like the dress and the makeup from like the 1800s with goth from today and a little bit of punkiness. So it's really weird.
Wow. Well, I think that has been around a while, though.
I think Tim Burton style stuff.
Okay, all right.
That's steampunk type of stuff.
Is that what that?
Think Wild Wild West, the movie.
Yeah, that too. Wild Wild West meets Tim Burton. Yeah, put those two together. That's steampunk.
Oh, okay, all right. That's
because I know
interesting.
steampunkers. Actually, I've been working on joining in groups, local.
Yeah,
groups.
you are a steampunker.
How could you be a steampunker? Really?
Yeah.
Now, how do guys do it? I can see how women do it, but I don't see how guys do it.
The whole core of it basically is you take stuff that's available and it still works, old stuff, and you use it and you convert it to today's uses. Basically,
right?
It's based on for the most part metal and leather and copper and that kind of thing, and Western wear like we wear around or like we would wear around here if we weren't so modernized. Yeah.
Check out the link in the chat room there, Andy. I sent you the Wikipedia article on it.
A wiki on it.
There's some pictures on it too.
Huh.
But the thing is they're some of the people are taking steampunk to a new level, and that's what I was going to say is they're trying to take that to a whole new level, and they're actually starting to bring a little bit of goth in with it. So you're finding a little bit more morbidity, I guess, morbid.
Yeah.
Morbid themes going on with some of the steampunk stuff.
Would you say that it's a trend? I mean, is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh boy. But more the younger set. You're not going to see, Grandpa dressed up as a steampunker.
No. Thank God. Thank God.
All right, so
because that's the original OG right there.
What
original steampunk?
What is some of the biggest stuff that's coming out of Comic-Con as far as the upcoming movies? We heard Beavis and Butthead's coming back. I think that was an announcement that was made there after.
I didn't actually hear that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's quite some time they've been gone.
Yeah. Back when I was 10, 11, 12, 13 years old.
CNN was reporting on it, saying they're still going to wear their AC/DC shirts.
Yes.
And Metallica. Yeah.
I don't like the TV show. I like the movie, but I never liked the TV show. It's kind
The
of, I don't know.
TV show was the best.
Oh, the TV show is great.
I mean, I think they listened to a little bit too many music videos during the show, but it was still good. But no, let's see.
Think of the trend it created. You just pull your shirt up over your head and, you know.
I am Cornholio. I need TV for my bumhole.
Cornholio's cool.
Cornholio is the character.
I can still do the voice.
But movie-wise, what's...
Okay, so movie-wise, there's going to be a new Star Wars.
Huh?
Yep.
What? Hold on, back up. I missed this one.
I'm sorry, I'm just making that one up completely. Just wanted to catch you off guard.
Well, what did Seth Green say, though?
I don't know what Seth Green said. What did Seth Green say?
He's involved in some kind of upcoming Star Wars thing. I mean, that was the headline I saw was Seth Green, new Star Wars movie. I'm sure that's not what they meant, but
maybe
he's doing a new Robot Chicken Star Wars movie. Maybe that's it.
That's most likely because I mean, I was just joking about the whole new Star Wars. Movie wise,
it's probably a new Robot Chicken. That would be kind of cool. And they would announce that there. So cool, I'm into that.
Well, let's see.
I didn't really get to see a lot of the whole movie stuff. I didn't do any of the panels. I just kind of walked around for a couple hours, checked out all the things. So I didn't really get to see a lot of the movie stuff. So I apologize.
Oh, well, fine.
Well, fine.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not going to be your Comic-Con expert next year.
Well, let's see. You've got this week, what a perfect week to launch Captain America.
Oh, that's true.
I'm sure
you did get Captain America, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's been talked about quite a bit there. And then getting ready for the entire Justice League movie, which will be kind of I think that's what they've done. They've kind of, like Wolverine, came out after X-Men, so it gave us a chance. I think they decided, well, let's do it differently. Let's do it one character at a time, and kind of show all these comic book characters, and then we're going to put out Justice League. And I don't know. I have a feeling it could be a good movie. It could also be very confusing to watch.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be good. I really haven't followed the Justice League too much, but I do know the people that are in it. And I think, isn't it that Captain America is the last one to be introduced before? Or no, they need to do a Wonder Woman, don't they?
I'm not sure of they were going to do a Wonder Woman TV series, then that got canned.
Yeah, but I mean, are they going to do a Wonder Woman?
They should do a Wonder Woman feature. But see, I'm not even sure of the Legion that is in the Justice League. I don't even know what makes it up. I get them confused with other ones.
Oh, wait a second. No,
I didn't read.
Tech guy is telling us Wonder Woman is DC Comics.
Yeah, I didn't read too many.
Justice League.
I didn't read too much of the comic books when I was growing up. I mean, I remember having a Spider-Man. I had a Hulk, and then I collected Star Wars when Star Wars came out. But I didn't get into it before then.
You know what? I think he's right. What we're talking about the Avengers, not the Justice League. The Justice League is Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
Right.
So we're talking about the Avengers, Captain America.
Well, yeah,
Iron Man.
There's going to be two, isn't there? There's going to be a Justice League movie, a feature, and then there's going to be an Avengers movie where it shows all of them being put together.
I did see the Avengers booth. They had a huge Marvel booth with the Avengers, talking about the Avengers, and DD Tech guy in the chat room is mentioning that in 2014, there's going to be a Nick Fury movie. So. It's
Which Nick Fury?
Yeah. Huh?
Yes.
Which Nick Fury, though?
I don't know. It says Nick
Fury.
Samuel
Jackson's playing him, is what he said.
Oh, okay. Well, now we know which one.
Yeah, and you really can't go by IMDb, Dave. I got to tell you, IMDb is a neat source, but every rumor they will list stuff whenever they can. At least that's what I've been told. I got told that by Eric Roberts. Because I was going, hey, I see you're working. He goes, you know what? He says, they just get wind of something that I'm working on, and they it gets listed, and it might be something that never comes to fruition.
And I hate how IMDb charges you to put a video of a picture of somebody else on their site.
Do they?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
If you find an actor that's not on there or that doesn't have a picture, you go to put a picture up there. It says, oh, sure, upload it for $5.99. It's like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
You're going to charge me to upload a picture to your website?
Now, I wonder if I'm an IMDb Pro member. Would they make me pay for that?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
That'd be kind of weird. Yeah, that's interesting. But why would you want to put a picture? Oh, because they don't have one?
Yeah, they don't have any pictures of a particular actor, and people go to IMDb to see who it looks like.
Right. I do that when I hear an actor's dead. I go to IMDb. What did they look like? Okay, I remember this guy. And then if there's nothing there, you Google them.
Yep.
It's like
I did see some other famous people there.
Who did you see?
Well, let's see. I saw Johnny Galecki.
Oh, cool! Really? Hey, wait! Were they shooting anything?
No, they were just walking by.
Okay.
It was Johnny Galecki, Kayla Cuoco, and
how does she look?
Oh.
Yeah, thanks.
I forget his name, but the guy that played Sheldon. So the three of them were together walking around.
Really? So were they getting mobbed?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I didn't even get about 15 feet in front of them, 20 feet.
Right. That's why I wondered if they were shooting anything. That would be difficult to do.
I mean, they could have. I don't know. They could have been, but I mean, they were walking from one place to another, and they were just getting mobbed. They had security with them too, so I mean, they were kind of like. But then I saw, let's see, Adam Sessler from G4 TV.
Right.
I saw Bela Lugosi Jr.
Yeah.
You know who he is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Even if you didn't know him. Like, I've known him because I've talked to him a few times. Even if you didn't know him, how would you not know who Bela Lugosi is, Jr.?
Yeah, yeah. I saw, Sam Worthington.
Sam Worthington from Avatar?
Yep.
Cool.
The guy that played the lead character in Avatar.
And were you surprised that he's only 4'2"?
Say what?
Were you surprised that he was only 4'2"?
He's not 4'2".
Yeah, I guess you have the Avatar to know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Hold on here. That's a joke.
Yeah, no, it was supposed to
be. Actually, though, I actually didn't hardly even recognize him because he had such a beard going on. And I had to do a double take. I'm like, wait a second. What? Isn't that Jake Sully? And the buddies I was with were like, that's not his real name. It's Sam Worthington. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who else did I see there? Of course, I saw Darth Vader. Got a picture with him.
Yeah, there's probably so many Darth Vaders floating around.
There was a couple. This one was like, this guy knew what he was doing.
Yeah. Yeah, you can buy, I guess you can buy the suit. It's pretty inexpensive.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know about that. I saw a suit. I saw like a working Darth Vader suit with the voice changer and the heavy breathing. It was like $950.
Right.
That's not cheap.
Yeah, I've seen them for like $3,000. You know, with the helmet that comes off, the face is still a part of it, and you have to unlatch it. You know, going the full route.
I also met an artist. I got these pictures here. His name is Rack. He goes by R-A-K. I guess he's pretty famous because I actually have heard the name Rack before, but I just never.
He said Rack.
Yeah. These are a few pictures. He takes celebrity pictures and celebrities, real life celebrities, comic book celebrities, and draws a little bit of variations on their pictures. So I'm going to try to do this without destroying them in the camera too much.
Hold on, let me see if I can get a close. Back it off a little. You're a little too close right there. Are you trying to show his signature?
Hold on. See now I'm. You know what? There we go.
Hold it. Yeah,
Brian Griffin.
That's bad, Brian.
Yep. Oh, that's so cool, right?
And then here is Stewie.
Wow, this guy's cool.
Yeah. And then here's Darth Vader.
That's great.
Yeah, and then Yoda.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
And then Boba Fett.
Now, was this guy selling his artwork there?
Oh, yeah, these are $1 a piece.
That's not bad, though. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. I kind of get the glare going on here. I'm sorry.
That's right. That's good.
And then I got one more. This is actually I'm going to give this to my brother here. It's Bruce Lee.
Oh, I got to see that one. Hold on. Oh, that's great. It's really cool.
So yeah, I mean, they were $1 a piece. They were great. I mean, he had thousands of images, and it was really cool to see that. That's the cool thing about Comic-Con is it wasn't. My friend was telling me this, and he was saying that it used to be like this. It used to be artists, comics, and then Hollywood stepped in. So now half of the convention center is comics and artists and artwork and stuff like that. The other half is Hollywood. And that's where you get the big name studios that are coming in talking about their new video games or movies or, whatever it may be. I mean, they had the original DeLorean, the actual DeLorean that was in Back to the Future 3. They had Lego was there that had a life-size statue of Captain Jack Sparrow and Batman made out of Legos.
Right.
They had a Legendary Pictures was there showcasing something. They had a huge PlayStation booth. They had all kinds of stuff that was Hollywood, a lot of Hollywood stuff. But going over to the other side where all the artists and comics were, that was really cool. I mean, I was seeing some comics that were selling for $50,000.
Really? Well, like
Yeah.
Superman stuff, or
Yeah, like Spider-Man #1.
wow,
Like stuff like that. But they were behind glass, they were like seriously guarded and stuff. But I mean, you could see the original comics, and that was what made Comic-Con so special.
When you really think about it, Spider-Man has not been around that long. I had a #1. Oh, I remember.
What?
Yes, I had a #1 when I was a kid. The cover got ripped off, but I remember reading that, and I remember having that, and I remember it being #1. And at the point in the late '70s when I finally realized I had something, it's too late. The thing was already damaged beyond belief. But think of how many people probably went out and bought that and have that stored away in an attic somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the thing with it. It's it's a rare find. It's like I have an X-Men '94. X-Men '94 was one of the most sought after X-Men comics, and I think it still has a value on it today that still continues to increase for some reason. I still don't know what the reason is for that. But how many people have these comic books that have just really in the last 20 years seen this tremendous value increase? That's why people are finding Superman comics, #1 action comics, in their parents' attics that have been stored away in a box under stuff, not because they were waiting for it to get value, or they just put it away because it meant something to them.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to my buddy. My buddy that I was with yesterday hanging out, he said that he's got 3 or 4 boxes of comics stored away in his parents' attic that he just forgot about.
Yeah.
And going to Comic-Con makes him want to go back and look through those comics to see if he has anything that's worthy, worth money.
It's pretty amazing stuff when you see all of that. Slick, what was your first comic? Did you have one? Did you collect them?
While you guys were talking, I was trying to figure out, remember what I had, because I had some old, real early day Doom Patrol. I think I had the first one, the first Doom Patrol,
right?
Which I hope they bring out. Mr. Miracle, which a lot of people don't remember, but if you're into comics, you know Mr. Miracle.
Right.
You got to be deep in the comics to know Mr. Miracle. had some Archie stuff, but I didn't buy it. It was it was given to me. I don't know how I wound up with it. I got into X-Men. I didn't get an X-Men at the beginning, but I got into them around the time of Mimic, when Mimic kicked in. Mimic was the guy, for those of you who don't know, Mimic was the guy that if he's in the area, he could absorb or mimic their power. So he would have the eye thing and be, the beast and have wings and all that kind of stuff. Who else? I had some Spider-Man, not a lot. I liked him, just didn't love him. I loved the X-Men.
Yeah.
But that's all I can remember, because a bunch of those old stuff, as they did, they got thrown out. Thanks, Mom.
I remember going to my dad's in 1972, and I wonder if there's a value on these in England. And, I was 10 years old at the time. We were visiting my grandma and then pulling out old Disney comics, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck. And these were comic books that I could look through. And same situation. When my grandma passed away, my dad was diagnosed with cancer that same day that my grandma died. So there's no way he was getting on a plane and going to England. So we left it up to my uncle. My uncle threw away my grandfather's war medals and stuff like the toys, the Cupid dolls, the stuff from World War II and some of those comic books just gone forever.
Wow.
You got to entrust that stuff to somebody that will care for it and pass it along.
There was my best friend back in Rapid City, South Dakota. His little brother collected Batman action figures, DC Comics action figures, and we were older than him, of course, so we were always telling him that you should keep things in your box. And of course, you try to tell this to a 5 and 6 year old kid, they're not going to do it. They're not going to listen. They're going to be like, no, I want to play with it. But as he got older, he started collecting these things. He kept on collecting them at the same pace, but he started keeping these things in boxes. And just amazing, now 25 years later, some of these things are worth a little bit of money to him, and will continue to probably raise in price and how much they're worth, if he keeps them for another 50 years or whatever.
Yeah,
Amazing.
as bad as it's been, as bad as things have been for me for a few years, I've been recently been tossing out stuff, and I mean stuff that I was like, this is not a good idea. At first, I wanted to try to take it to Bookman's, but I wasn't able to get over to Bookman. Bookman's, by the way, for those who don't know, is one of our local stores where you can buy and sell old stuff like books and electronics and movies, videos, all that kind of stuff. But I just tossed that thing. The one thing, I still feel bad about it. Somehow Hasbro sent me one of their first original G.I. Joe Delta Force dolls in the package. Everything. This was like more than 5 years ago, and I kept it because I like toys.
Right.
But I just recently tossed it because I need to get rid of stuff. And I didn't want to give it to some kids because I know the kids I was thinking about giving it to, I mean, they already tore up their toys. I'd rather see it in the trash than have them tear this thing apart.
Right.
I really would. So,
I used to take my old action figures out, and I kind of realized that I shouldn't have done this, but I remember I had a Superman action figurine, and I took it and I tied it behind my bicycle because Superman could fly. And then I would ride my bike up and down the street as fast as I could go, and then Superman would be dragging and hopping along the road, as he was trying to come in for a landing, I guess, and would tear his face up, just the whole face would be shaved off, or missing an arm, or half his body's shaved off from the road, the asphalt, pretty much just the worst road rash you could ever imagine. And now I look back and I'm like, damn, that probably was worth a couple $100.
I'll tell you what's really sad. I have a Luke Skywalker action figure, and the lightsaber is like chewed off, just from being bored, you chew it. But you got to think about something. Star Wars came out in 1977. That means that action figure was from 1978. I was like 17. What am I doing chewing on the end of Luke Skywalker's lightsaber?
Yeah, good question. You got an oral fixation of some sort? What's going on with you, man? This stuff you haven't told us about?
We used to blow up my sister's Barbie dolls. Well, she would get the Barbie. She'd get those knockoff Barbies. We used to blow those things up in pools with M80s. It was a blast.
So the other thing I wanted to mention about Comic-Con,
yes, sir.
They had a small little area dedicated just to video games. They had a Gears of War 3 for the Xbox. They had something for the Nintendo Wii, whatever. And then they had the new City of Heroes for the PC, City of Heroes versus Villains, which is appropriate for Comic-Con.
Yeah.
But then they had a booth for Saints Row the Third. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Saints Row.
Yeah.
I've heard of it. Yeah, you've heard of it. So, Andy, and for those of you who don't know, Saints Row is a knockoff. I don't even want to say knockoff because it's a copycat of Grand Theft Auto.
Okay.
The game. So it's like a third person shoot 'em up game, but it's like open world. Do what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it, and there's a storyline to it though. So Saints Row takes place in a city, and you are part of a gang called the Saints. And there's been 3 of these actual games. This is the 3rd, and I think final in the installation. Anyway, look it up. Just go to I think it's called saintsrow.com. But the video they showed was so above and beyond anything I've ever seen in a video game. And I'm not saying technical wise. I'm saying anti-political correctness wise. I mean, this was just, it blew Grand Theft Auto away. You think Grand Theft Auto may be bad or bad for kids? No. Saints Row, I swear I'm ordering this today because this looks so awesome. Because you can, for instance, you can run up around people. You can run behind them and grab behind the neck and then just body slam them to the floor for no apparent reason. They get up and they start clapping like, yay, because you're a celebrity. So they're just like, yay, thank you for body slamming me.
Really?
Yeah, or you can just walk up and like punch somebody in the junk, and then they'll be like, "Oh, that's okay, thank you."
I think it's the first time ever on Tech Talk Radio we used punch somebody in the junk. I like that.
Wait till you hear the next. Wait till you hear the next one.
Do I want to?
Friendly. I'll keep it family friendly.
All right.
I'll try to. Or you can actually walk around with a giant
Marital aid?
female sex toy
There you go. Yeah, okay.
and whack people upside the face with it.
No, you're kidding me.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I swear to God. You can
And
just,
then what happens?
And then, so is this game for adults then, not for kids?
well, it's rated M, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's kids will get their hands on it. But but it's just, and they have these things called the apocal gloves. I think they're called apocalypse gloves.
Right.
They look like these huge rock gloves on them, and when you punch something, it just completely destroys and just blood everywhere. You can even get in this truck called the man cannon, and as you're driving down the street, it has a vacuum, and it sucks pedestrians into the truck.
Okay, I was worried. I thought it was something else with that name.
Keep it family
Wow.
friendly.
Yeah.
Oh. The
Oh.
man cannon, and you can take the cannon and launch them into the air, and just for no reason, just launch them, through the streets of Clearwater, and they just hit the buildings, and they, blah,
So basically, they just went all out, went to the extreme to put this title out.
Extreme, and I'm looking for the actual video because they showed the video at Comic-Con. I don't think it's a publicly available video because they had it in a booth, and you have to go inside to see it. I'm really wishing I would have recorded it because it was so amazing. I mean, yeah, obviously it's not supposed to record it, but I really wish I did.
Were people laughing? Were people laughing, or were they more appalled?
Oh God, people were just rolling. I mean, I had tears coming out of my eyes. I was laughing so hard because the thing, I gotta have a sense of humor about this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
right? I mean, yeah, you got parents and kids that are like, "Oh my God, it's so bad," but you know what? Whatever. Have a sense of humor. This is just the most fun game ever. You can fly a Harrier jet. That's your means of transportation. Another thing too is, okay, one little small thing. Grand Theft Auto. When you go up to a car, you can open the car door and get in. Correct?
Right.
Saints Row. You're such a badass, and you're so rich because your gang is on top of the world right now. You're all celebrities. You're such a badass. You don't even need to open the door. You just jump right through the passenger or the driver's side window into your car. You jump, you go bam, and you jump right through the window, and it crashes the glass, and then he gets in and he takes off and drives around.
All right, that website is what, saintsrow.com? Now, you need to do an age verification on it when you log in to be able to see some of the stuff. But they've got some interviews there. They have an interview with Hulk Hogan and Sasha Grey about some of the different things that are a part of the title. So you can take a look at that.
Yeah, and then there's if you do a pre-order on it, you can have it for PC, Xbox, or PS3. It comes out November 15th, 2011. If you do a pre-order, you get the man cannon and the Harrier jet, and then you get some sort of something else. But you can actually see the video if you click on in the very front page. If you click on the pre-order, you'll be able to see the information about Professor Genki, who's one of the characters in the game, and you can actually watch the video and you can see what happens. It's just amazing. You can see the man cannon. Or I'm sorry, they call it the Manapult.
Manapult?
Yeah, Manapult car.
Wow.
Manapult car. They've also got the octopus gun. So it shoots octopuses at people and then hit them and just wraps around them and kills them or whatever. I don't know. But it's just completely ridiculous. Imagine sitting in that office thinking about what are we going to do to make this game better?
Yeah.
I know. How about an octopus gun? Or how about a giant 17-inch thing and that whip people in the face with? Really? This game looks so awesome, though. I can't believe that was my personal highlight. It is just so raunchy, so amazing. I can't believe they even got it released. But this is going to be hot.
What do you think the cost for the game is going to be?
$60.
$60?
Same as everything else. Yep, $60.
You think that maybe if you get a little more extreme and you go a little more out there, that the possibilities of you being able to charge a little more would be probably pretty good.
Well, see, here's the thing, Andy. Times they are changing. Okay,
yeah.
It's no longer about the price of the video games. Actually, I have a feeling that video games prices are going to drop drastically coming up in a couple years, and here's why. 2 words: microtransactions. So you get a game, $20, right?
Right.
Oh, cool! This game's top of the line. It's been by EA. It's the biggest, baddest game out there. $20, right on. You hop in there, you get in, you get. It's like let's say it's a new Call of Duty 5 or Call of Duty 7 or whatever. You get in. Here's your character, and he's got a pistol. Oh, but for 99 cents, we'll upgrade you to an AK-47.
Right, that's what you mean
but
by that.
Wait, there's more. Upgrade now for another 99 cents, and we'll give you a hat. I mean, that's what's happening nowadays. Is they're doing these microtransactions. That's how games are making their money.
Isn't Halo got these helmets now? These special helmets that they only, if you were a member of the development team or a member of the company, only you could have them. But now they're selling it or selling them to everybody. Some kind of flame thing going on.
Yes, they do have some of those. Yes, I do recall that. I think it's more along the lines of you have to be a Halo legendary member, which means you've played all the Halos and you've done all the online. You basically beat all the Halos to get the flaming helmet. There was one that Tiger Woods PGA Tour 12, the Masters. I just got it. The game was $60.
Right.
I've already spent $60 in extra money on it to buy extra courses, extra gear, extra stats. So I spent $120 in that game, and you don't realize it until you add it all up. That's what's gaming. That's where gaming is going to go right now. And again, Diamond Dave in the chat room people are talking about World of Warcraft. They're going to die out unless they go microtransaction. Again, that's going to be something big. Rift, the new game coming out, it's a new thing. It's supposed to take on. It's supposed to take on World of Warcraft. That's microtransactions, as far as I've heard in the past. They're doing microtransactions. So that's just the way of video games.
Well, isn't that kind of what Second Life was doing?
Second Life, they weren't micro. They were just transactions.
All right.
You were paying $7.99, $9.99 for stuff. Microtransactions, the whole concept behind them is
smaller.
I can afford it. I can afford 99 cents.
Right. Well, you look at the popularity of, and I'll use it for example, from the iTunes store, the iFart. I mean, I think most people, if you looked at that and it was $5, you would have said, no way. But people look at it and go, oh, 99 cents? Oh, what the heck? I'll do it. That'll be fun to have. And that's why they made so much money, because it wasn't a lot of money, but it was based on the masses.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
99 cents times 100,000. That's like 99.
That's more than you get as a developer selling it on your street corner, you know?
Yeah.
Speaking of that, speaking of gaming news here, I got something for you. You'll like this.
Okay.
Here you go. I don't know if you can hear the music with it. I don't think you can. But that is the Angry Birds. Check that out.
Yes.
At Fry's in Phoenix.
But I definitely can see the picture.
Okay, so the deal with this thing...
Because I'm listening to the rock beat. Sorry, not the web beat.
The deal with these, all right, the Angry Bird, the big red one, guess how much that thing is?
Oh, $30.
Try $59.
Yep. Okay.
The pig is a little cheaper, and then they get down in prices too. You buy keychains for it. Rovio, this is pretty amazing. Rovio just celebrated, and it's a pretty neat story, the numbers of 1 billion downloads.
Wow.
1 billion. We're not talking, a million. We're talking 1 billion. Now, you imagine, and that's the free downloads of the games. Imagine if they had $1 for every game that was downloaded. The developer, Peter Vesterbaca, said that the popularity of the game has surpassed 300 million downloads, but they have over 1 billion fans. And what they want to do is they want to bring more players, including an animated TV series, a feature film, and a series of books. Now, I don't know about a feature film. I don't know if you would get tired over time over it. But, if they could develop the characters, it could be something. And if you haven't played the game, you might as well just go online and get it free for your phone. They have it for the Android, for the iPad, the whole bit. It's a blast. I've got into it, and it took me about a month and a half to play it, which was very satisfying because I'd be sitting somewhere playing, and now I'm totally into all the characters as well. Sorry, I didn't mean to leave that picture up so long. It's kind of warped.
No, yeah, they had an Angry Birds exhibit actually at the Comic-Con. They were giving away giving away the new Angry Birds game, and they were giving away some other stuff. The whole Fox booth and everything. They had a bunch of stuff. So,
Yeah.
Hey, Justin, you're into gaming. Have you ever heard of a game called Resistance?
absolutely.
Why are you looking around? Why did you?
Oh,
you
I
have
was
a
actually
copy or
going to. No, I was actually going to show you guys one other thing, but I'll wait on that. Go ahead. Resistance, yes, I've heard of it.
Well, okay. Well, you want to go get it while I chat about Resistance real quick and then bring
Okay.
it back in? All right,
Sure,
go ahead and
sure,
do
sure.
that.
All right.
Okay. So, I've been on Davis Monthan Air Force Base out here in Tucson, Arizona for the past couple of weeks helping out on the base there. And can you believe they gave me a security clearance?
That's cool. I like it.
What are they thinking? Anyway, apparently those stories haven't reached the military yet. So, is he back yet, Justin?
No, not yet.
Okay, all right. So I'm out there, and I come out of one of the buildings, and there's been a big truck on the base for days, and it's got the big resistance sign on it and stuff like that. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh, okay. So then one day I go up to the building, and it's sitting in front of it, and the guys are taking out equipment and setting things up. Glad you're back, Justin. Okay, I'm still just getting started the story. So I start talking to the guy, and it's for Resistance 3, which is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And so all right, you're going to put it up. They're going to demonstrate it to troops and all that kind of stuff. All right, neat. All right. So I try to talk to a representative so we can get some information for the show.
Right.
There's only 2 guys there, and they're all techs, and all they do is set up and take down. And the truck is going to be out here all weekend, by the way, in case you're in the area and have an ID that you can get on the base.
Yeah. That's one thing you
And
need.
it's going to be yeah. Although I do know where the holes are in the fence, Andy, so we can talk about that
No.
later. All of a sudden, my pass has been revoked. So I'm talking to him about the game, and there's only 2 techs out there, no representatives. So I'm trying to get some information for our show. So I finally tracked down the marketing company in Chicago. Hi, folks, who sent me some email back. And I guess Resistance 3 is coming out in September. But, however, let me flip to the email that they sent me. They said that the information that's provided, basically with the truck is all that they could pass along without PlayStation legal approval. Which I don't know anything about the game. Some of the families and troops that have come by the truck, I mean, they look at the game and they peek and they go, "What about it?" But there's nobody there to talk to us about it. So we're kind of like, okay. So they got it. I guess it's going to be in 3D. That's why I was asking Justin if he knew anything about it. And I did tell the marketing company, for the sake of the troops at least, that the truck's going to be not only at Davis Monthan Air Force Base, but at Lackland, Fort Hood, Fort Benning, Fort Bragg, Fort Lee, and Fort Drum.
Oh.
But again, it's coming out in September. Justin, do you know anything about Resistance 1 or Resistance 2?
I've heard of them, and I actually haven't played them, but they're definitely they're very big titles for the PlayStation.
Are they? Okay, because I couldn't find, the most information I could find about Resistance, period, really, for me, was a Wikipedia entry.
Right.
And, it goes over the storyline for Resistance 3, and other than PlayStation.com, where I guess you can get information about Resistance 2 if you really looked, which I didn't, they got just a banner up for Resistance 3 being released September the 6th, which, by the way, everybody, is the day for my birthday. I just want to get you.
Yeah, we know what to get you.
Well, no, let the marketing company get it for me.
Yeah, there you go.
That's their job.
So
PlayStation 3, because I don't have one of those.
So it's the marketing company that's going around and doing this? That's showing the game, not play. It's the marketing company that's going around showing the game, it's the game developer, not PlayStation itself.
Well, it's the marketing company, but I was hoping maybe I could talk to the game developer or even Sony or somebody, but it's almost like stealth marketing. I'm a little confused. They put the truck out there. You can play the game. And that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, there's nobody there to talk about the game, talk about the backstory, talk about where the game is going. I mean, this kind of marketing is kind of confusing to me.
Well, the thing, I mean, you say that you can play the game, but there's no way to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing with yesterday at the PlayStation booth. I played Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception's coming out. They let us play for 20 minutes. But there was no information about it. It just, you played the game and you left. And then you're like, hey, what's going on with this? And all the thing they would tell you about is the release date. That's it.
Wow. So the thing is just to get you into it.
Yeah, so is it me? I mean, wouldn't you want more Andy there or something? Or,
Yeah, you would think it. I mean, I don't know. I would think it, but they do these things for reasons that we don't know. It's just let's create a buzz. Let's create talk. Let's show it to the military. Get the military to talk about it. Military personnel, and then take it from there.
Yeah. Now, Redneck is talking in the chat room about that. They're saying that it's going to be the first in the series to support 3D, which is true. Yeah, PlayStation Move, which is the motion controller, and is the first to introduce the PSN Pass program. I don't know if any of you guys know what the PSN Pass is.
What is it?
So basically, it's a way for companies to get more money out of you. When you buy the game, in order for you to play online or to even just get any updates to the game, you have to activate this PSN Pass. And when you first buy the game, you get the pass and you get the code. But a lot of people, what they do is they sell their games to GameStop or they sell them to their buddies or whatever. Well, if you buy a used copy of the game or borrow your buddy's game, you're going to have to purchase a PSN Pass. Now, they've done this in the past with other games, but not officially by Sony. EA has done it with Tiger Woods for a couple of years now, and Madden. But basically, if you buy a used copy of the game, you have to pay another $10, $20 for an online pass just to be able to play the game online or get updates to it. So again, it's just another way for companies to get more money out of you, and that's why I really think that a lot of the game prices are actually going to go down, because all these little microtransactions that you get hook, line, and sinker on. You get hooked by the game, you buy it, and you're like, oh crap, now I got to pay more. Oh well, I guess I will. It's only 99 cents, and then you just keep doing it.
No, all right. And one other game note that I have before I throw it back to you for more gaming news, Justin, is I just noticed a note this morning that Guitar Hero says Guitar Hero to be resurrected, retool, and launch reunion tour. So I guess Guitar Hero and Rock Band are not completely dead. At least Guitar Hero seems to be coming back. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't think it will. I think that was a fad that burned out, and I don't really think anything is going to be more of it after this, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree.
So the other thing that I was going to do, this is the last thing I was going to show you guys about Comic-Con. Have you guys ever heard of Ugly Doll?
No.
These are Ugly Dolls.
Hold on, let me get, all right. Are they characters from a TV show?
No.
No?
Actually, they are completely unique. They're not on a TV show or any movie. This guy and his wife created these Ugly Dolls, and what it was is I'm not sure the whole story, but the guy's American, his wife's Korean. She got deported to Korea or had to move back to Korea for some reason. I'm not quite sure which is but he would draw these little characters on a piece of paper on the letters and send them to her. Well, she decided to make a doll out of them, and they're ugly on purpose. I mean, they're not supposed to be cute. They're supposed to be so ugly they're cute. Like this guy right here is missing an eye. This guy's got super bloodshot eyes, and green teeth. So they're supposed to be so ugly they're cute. Well, she decided to make a doll out of it. The guy thought it was a great idea, started to make some more, and now these things are just blowing up. Everywhere you look, people are getting Ugly Dolls. They've got like 6 different variations of them. These things were $5 each at Comic-Con. You can buy them online. I think it's uglydolls.com. They're awesome. They have large dolls. They have full-size dolls.
Let me ask, does it say made in Korea on it?
Hold on here. Made in China.
Yeah.
The company's name is Pretty Ugly LLC. Sun Min Kim and David Horvath. So yeah, that's the company, the people that made it.
Wow.
But yeah, Ugly Doll. These things are hot. I mean, these kids will love these things. If you're looking for gifts for Christmas, birthdays, whatever, Ugly Dolls are so awesome.
All right.
They're going to be hot for a couple years. I think those are like the new Teletubbies or not Teletubbies, whatever that trend was.
I'm thinking Pet Rock is what I'm thinking.
Pet Rock.
Just
don't
when they
tell me you never heard of Pet Rock.
Yeah.
Of course I've heard of Pet Rock.
Just when they say you can't make any more money on just an idea, yes, you can. I don't know. They've got all kinds of weird stuff like that. All right, I got something I want to share. This week I attended they call it an online kind of product announcement, product launch, and it was hosted by the good people over at Adobe. Bob Gager showed off one of the new programs that the company has, and it is strictly for the Mac users that are out there that want to get the most out of their photos. And it's Adobe's Photoshop Elements 9 Mac Editor. Now, it's different from the, and this is on the App Store. So it's different than, say, the retail box version, and it sells for $79 as the app, whereas the retail version sells for $99. You can go onto the App Store, you can download this, and what it does is it works kind of, I don't want to say it with it, but it can work with iPhoto. You use iPhoto to do your basic things. Well, Adobe Photoshop Elements 9 takes it even further for the Mac user and gives them the ability to do all of those cool effects that you can do with Photoshop Elements, or even Photoshop per se, for adjusting photos, for creating panoramas, for doing stitching in a photo, for doing effects where you're able to use that content aware fill and remove elements from a picture easily just by highlighting. They did a demonstration showing the removal of a bee from a flower, and seriously, when you see how easy it's done, it's one of those things you go, wait a minute, I can do that. Most people do. Graphics professionals for years have been like developing the science to get this down, and how to clone and how to do all these things. Well, in Photoshop Elements 9 and Photoshop 5.5, you have the ability to do it just with the brush of a mouse. And actually, believe it or not, the numbers for tablets are going up. Company Wacom is selling record numbers of its Bamboo personal tablets, as well as its Intuos line, which is for the professionals. The tablets are going up because people are wanting to experience using a tablet, which is, in case you don't know, it's a squared device that basically will mimic your hand movements. So if you want to draw on the picture or easily remove something using a kind of like a brush stroke, you can do those with those tablets. And the prices are coming down, and now you see other manufacturers getting into it, putting out tablets as well. I was in Fry's on Sunday, and Fry's Electronics, and took a look, and not only does Wacom have their display up there, but they had other manufacturers, Genus and some of the other ones that are making these tablets now to make it easy for these graphics professionals. Although, in my eye, Wacom is the best. So more and more people wanting to do that stuff. So you can grab that on the App Store. Although one person did comment that, if you search, you go to Amazon, you can find Adobe Photoshop Elements 9 for the Mac, which is not the Mac editor. It's the full Mac retail version for $79. So it's
not bad.
You can do your shopping. You can either get it as the Mac editor for your Mac, or get the retail version. Either way, it's still a good deal. Pretty neat.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Justin, do you own a Mac?
I own a iPhone and an iPod, but not a Mac.
Are you thinking about pulling the trigger and getting
iPad? Sorry.
Are you thinking about pulling the trigger and getting one?
No.
No, him, you mean? Yeah, Justin?
Yeah.
Oh, either. No, not at all.
How about you, Slick?
I want you and I've talked about this. I want one because I think they're cool products. However, I need to understand what's going on with this whole Apple upgrade, moving next generation thing. Because I guess they just released, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess the latest release was Lion is the update to their operating system.
Lion
right?
is going to be the new update. Yeah.
Okay. So with them just using names and not numbers, I get a little confused. So I guess they had before that there was tiger and leopard and snow leopard, and then now there's lion. And from what I've been reading on some of the stories here, which I don't fully understand, but looks like for this next update, upgrade, whatever you want to call it, it's only available via download. So as with Microsoft, at least we get names, but we get dates and stuff. We get some kind of a reference point. Service Pack 1, Service Pack 2. All they said was Lion is download available only. It's not available on disk from what I can find.
Right.
Although there's a footnote here. I guess it's available via memory stick for extra money.
Huh.
That's the stuff that scares me about Apple and makes me just want to kind of stay away, since I don't really, it's not easily understandable about, I have this operating system and these updates or upgrades are free and these are not, because this is because with Microsoft, we know it's a different operating system. We know it's a new operating system and these are updates.
Yeah.
Well,
It's not really all that clear.
It
with
is.
Apple.
It is kind of a change when you think about it. Lion's going to be kind of a change. I don't have a Mac, so I'll be honest there, but it's a change. I like the fact that you can go online and download it for only $29, for only $30. You can go from your current operating system to Lion, and you can do that all just by going online. I kind of like that idea. I wish Microsoft would have done that for Vista users wanting Windows 7. I think it would have made. I mean, yeah, it makes sense on their side, but for the consumer that suddenly says, well, wait a minute, I just invested in Vista. Why, now you're telling me to get Windows 7. I think that would have made a lot of people happy if they just made it available that way. Instead, they push updates for a product that wasn't really done. You remember how many updates we got for Vista? It was crazy.
Still getting. But you know what? To defend Microsoft a little bit in that, I kind of get it because they did that with Vista. Remember they did, what did they call it? Online up, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
And some people's computers just there was a problem with the download and the update and the upgrade.
Yeah.
And it bricked them.
Yeah, there were some AMD issues with it.
Yeah.
And then, then they had to create a way to go back and do all that other stuff. I don't know. I'm so frustrated. And I don't know who my frustration should be. Should it be at Microsoft or should it be at the manufacturers for the products we have? I've got an old HP laptop. It's a ZV6000. And I find it's starting to wig out on me, and it was starting to jump out. And I finally decided, you know what? I need to wipe this clean. And so I did a complete backup, and I decided I'm going to install Windows 7 on it. Went to install Windows 7, and it was just crazy. Tell you what, let's do this. Let me take a break. When we come back, we'll go over that, and we'll do about another 20 minutes of the show, and we'll talk about that. That way we can all kind of take a refresher, and we'll be back with more of Tech Talk Radio in just a moment. We're back from our break, Tech Talk Radio, and we've actually have a new person that has joined us, and he's an old friend of mine, actually one of my first radio morning show producers, and I don't know if I rubbed off on him somehow with geekdom, but he became a kind of a geek. It's Broadway from Anytime Com. Broadway, how you doing?
What's cracking, cuz?
Yeah, this is great because this is our really first international, I guess you could say, multinational broadcast. We've got Justin in San Diego, and now we've got you in Texas.
Yes,
yeah,
truly.
No,
it's happening.
What happened? How did you get into the tech stuff? What do you do?
Well, when I met you, if you forget, as a kid, I was already doing Commodore 64, the old programming with the old games and all that old stuff.
Becoming a part-time electrician.
Yeah, being a all-around used tech. But when you and me got together right after the radio stuff was starting to slow down a little bit, and you were saying, "Hey, you're getting into tech," we went on a few little gigs together. I went out and helped you out in Indian Wells or Indio somewhere.
Oh,
or something
I remember
like
that. You helped me do some wiring.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I also helped you do a little bit of computer work. But
yeah,
I really realized that that's the only way I can go. And then I moved up to Northern California, and it just blew up from there.
Yeah. And now in Texas, your company just specializes in rack storage space, server space, the whole bit, right?
No.
Okay, shows what I know.
All right, thanks for that explanation there.
We are a small business. We do everything. We do everything from Soho to businesses that have 100 employees or less. We do everything from PC repair, computer service, consulting, website design, management, hosting. I mean, literally, we call ourselves a digital communications company. Anything that's connected to the internet, we do.
That's pretty good stuff. That's pretty good stuff. So you've been listening to the chat this morning, hearing us talking about some of the stuff that's going on in the tech world. What are your thoughts on it? I mean, you're a Mac or PC guy. What kind of floats your boat?
I was a diehard PC person for probably 12 years. I waited for Mac to get a little bit more affordable because back in the day when we all got started,
yeah, that's happened, hasn't it?
Well, Mac was mostly for the entertainment and school, entertainment and education is where they really focused.
Yeah.
And now that they're more opened and more accessible and usable by everyone, and I don't know if it's Mac's issue. I think it's just the end user has finally gotten smart enough to deal with the different types of screens between Windows and Mac. I'm Mac too. I mean, we have iPads. I'm sitting here next with an iPhone, an iPad, and Michelle has the boss. Michelle's the boss. She has a Mac, and We fix them. We work on it. We do anything. But I prefer Linux, honestly.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Were you disappointed when Linux really didn't? It really hasn't jumped commercially to be something that users have just grasped. I mean, I had a yard sale and I was selling a box with Linux already pre-installed and everything, and they would ask, "Well, does it work?" Yeah, it's got Linux, and they would be like, "What's that?"
Well, remember when Red Hat first came out? Red Hat was the official first commercial graded Linux operating system. It was supposed to look like Windows. It was supposed to act like Windows, and it really was an early version of what you see on Mac today. Because remember, Mac runs on top of FreeBSD, basically.
Yeah.
It's no different. So I think that Linux is still coming around. I think more and more people use Linux. The only problem with Linux is the fact that it is open source. You don't have large companies pushing products down that pipeline, and it's for us geeks that like to hack around.
Yeah.
But Kernel 3 was released this weekend, wasn't it?
Which one? What was that?
Kernel 3.
Kernel
3.0.
Kernel 3.0. Did you hear anything about that?
Kernel 3.0. No.
No.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm getting it.
I'm getting it. Hold on, let me check. I mean, I won't run anything that new from a kernel perspective on Linux. I'm on all my servers are on 2.6.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, it could be released, but I don't try to go that far out in Linux.
What would you say has been like the best flavor? I mean, in your opinion,
CentOS.
CentOS, really? Why? Now, what made that kind of stand apart?
Because they made things a lot more easier for the end user to. You can use Yum for an update. You can use UpToDate for an update. It's basically like a Red Hat and a normal Linux system, like the all the other flavors, simplified. I'm not trying to sound too wishy-washy here, I know, but it's just a very simple Linux OS that's the installer's graphical and clean. Commercial, it can be used for commercial environments or residential environments.
And do you find commercially more people are saying, "Well, what about this Linux thing? And will this save me money?"
Well, let me put it this way: I could do a whole show with you guys on a Linux, a free replacement for a small business server in the Linux world.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, not bad.
Yeah. So if you're telling people, okay, spend $1,800 on SBS and then still do all the upgraded licenses, or I can take you and show you this free OS in Linux that has exactly all the same features, if not more, and it can run on a 486 if you had it laying around, what would you do?
Oh, boy. Now, what were your thoughts on Windows 7?
Family show. Family show.
So realistically, I've been around Windows ever since I was a beta tester for 95. I still have my Welcome to Windows 95 T-shirt. I watched the progression go from 95 to 98. I think 98 was their best operating system before XP SP3.
Really?
I watched the progression go to ME, which everybody, if you don't know the history, XP to ME was that real quick farce to get you into Vista. And then Vista, of course, was the real quick farce to get you into 7. So that's where I'm at. I think 7 is the new XP. I think it's not stable enough until this latest SP. I think they finally got it down. I'm running it. I only run 64-bit, though. I will not run the 32-bit versions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you are planning on doing anything, don't run 32-bit. You have to go 64.
Well, you know, but this is one of the problems I've run into this week. Just this week alone. Get an HP, and it's an older HP, and I finally decided to go ahead and kind of bite the bullet and reformat it. It's been, I think, running XP Service Pack, Professional Service Pack 3, well, since the last Service Pack, but I've been running that install of XP for probably close to 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. And so I thought, well, it's starting to bog down. Time to clear off. So I decided to put Windows 7 on it. I had a license for 7, 64, and I thought, let's do it. So I went ahead and installed it, and everything worked fine except for the Connexent AC97 audio. So, of course, I go on to HP's website. No, they go as far as XP. They didn't even do a Vista install, a Vista driver. So I just keep going, keep installing, going through that whole entire route, going online, going to Connexent's website. They don't make it available. So go to manufacturer. I go online looking for somebody who has an AC97 driver for 64. Can't find it. So,
Realtek.
What's that?
Realtek.
Well, yeah, Realtek. So my thoughts are, do I do I just bag it and go back to Windows XP Home, or do I
need sound?
No, use Realtek's driver.
Realtek? I couldn't find a driver for Realtek that would work for AC97.
I can hook you up.
All right, let's see if you can hook me up.
I've ran into that problem with an HP machine.
Have you really?
Yes, HPs are horrible about blocking their drivers to work between versions of software. I've had several clients that wanted to have their machines upgraded that were HP, and the drivers just would not work. So I had to go out and scour the internet and use different version drivers and put them into compatibility mode or whatever to make them work.
All right, now I know that Justin has to take off his time. We're actually going over his timeline, so wanted to let him go. Justin, before you go, anything you wanted to add to the show?
No, actually, I mean, I think we're doing pretty good. I just wanted to say that Comic-Con this year, I mean, we got 2 more days left of Comic-Con, so if you're in San Diego, head out there and go.
All right, good.
It's going to be a great time.
Will you put them up?
Yeah,
Sure,
you got a couch?
Yeah, you can sleep on the floor over here.
Yeah,
Sure, why not?
Slick wants to grab a piece of the couch. Is that all right?
I always need a piece of the couch.
All right. Next week's show, we're going to be on a change schedule for next week. I'm working on that, and then the following week, I'll be on my honeymoon. So I don't know if I'll. Oops. Didn't know if I was supposed to say that. So I don't know if I'll be able to be on the show, but we're certainly going to work something in there. All right.
Sounds good.
All right, Broadway. I know we got to
Yes,
cut you off a little there, but want to thank you for participating this week. Can you participate maybe next week as well?
Yes, sir. If I can wake up early enough.
All right, and let's see if
What's
Broadway
the time officially, so I know?
8 a.m. And let's see if Broadway follows through on these AC97 drivers from Realtek. I want to see if it will work. Now, if it doesn't work, my options very easily are to go ahead and go with a USB device, which are made now. Creative Labs.
Does that HP only have AC, or does it allow you to do HD as well?
It's just AC97. Yeah, doesn't have HD. It's a
the
laptop.
BIOS, you have no way to change it.
No, it's a laptop.
It's a laptop.
Yeah.
Well, even though it's a laptop, the BIOS, the sound card doesn't support dual mode.
No, it doesn't. No.
Okay.
So
I'll make it work.
That's why I thought, well, maybe go look at USB. Creative Labs offers 2 products: the XFI Go, and then they also offer the it's a external USB sound blaster, which I know Slick wants to get his hands on.
Yeah.
Does Slick have a Fry's near him?
No, I'm in Tucson, so fries
Yeah.
and Phoenix.
You poor guy.
Very poor. You have no idea how poor I am. He had no
Do you have Fry's Electronics out there in Texas?
As soon as we moved here, Fry's opened their doors, and I swore I told everybody, because I was living in San Jose when Fry's just started. Back when I married Michelle and we moved up north, Fry's only had 2 locations. And then one of them was still the grocery store, the original grocery store that the father started. I could tell you the whole history of Fry's.
No, is it part of the Fry's grocery store?
So there's a Fry's grocery chain in the East and Midwest, I think,
right,
that I've seen, and I could have swore that they said something about it was the same. The original Fry's in San Jose was a grocery chain, and that's why at every Fry's you still have grocery in the front of it. Is that's how they keep their tax something done until they purchased out all the old Incredible Universe buildings.
Oh, is that how they got it?
That's how they went nationwide. They bought out. You remember how Incredible Universe went bankrupt?
Yeah.
They waited for 2 years for the assets to go into liquidation, and they ended up buying all the vans and most of the locations.
Now, what made you move from Georgia, from the great state of Georgia, to Texas? Because
I'm a native Texan.
Oh, I see. All right.
I was born and raised in Texas.
That's why you and Barry got along
Georgia.
so well.
Well, I left California in 93, 94.
Yeah.
Went to Northern California for like a year, then moved to Texas again, first time with the wife and kids.
Yeah.
Got a job with a large tech company doing rollouts for small companies like Walmart and Cisco. You know, them real small companies.
Right.
And they moved me to Georgia to handle Home Depot, and then I moved from Georgia to Arkansas to handle Walmart.
Right.
And then they moved me from Arkansas up to Northern California again, and then that's when I started doing rollouts for Cisco. And so I stayed there until 99, 2000, and finally said, I'm done. I wanted to retire, or at least live life slower, and moved back to Texas.
Amazing. And one thing I learned, Slick, is never drive with this man. I'm not kidding you. You almost put Gloria into early depends. We we drove with him around the streets of Georgia, and oh my Lord,
Leadfoot.
no, driving up on the sidewalk. How about that?
I love speed. I love weaving in and out.
Yeah.
I love racing. I love. I'm 40 years old and I still get tickets.
I thought it was great. We go to Atlanta and we go out to eat. Where do we go? We go to Planet Frickin' Hollywood. We don't go to like some small little place that does fish fry.
No. I didn't look. I didn't know it that well. And you didn't want to go to Chick-fil-A with me because that's where I would have went.
Now I love Chick-fil-A. We finally got them out here.
We were only you didn't realize that you were only like 4 miles away from the original Chick-fil-A restaurant.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, and it's it looks like a little Hobbit house. It's hilarious.
All right. So so other than that, other than my problem with the laptop, which I've shared, that's where I've got to decide what do I want to do, what I want to add. Do I want to add a new laptop to the fold or go with the sound card? If you were in that situation,
time.
You think it's time?
How old is it?
I bought it in I bought it in 2000, probably 2003.
Well, let me ask you this: Do you expect to work on any of your customers' laptops that are that old?
I have. Yeah, actually, I have.
I have too, but you ain't charging them by the hour, are you?
Yeah, I am.
Good gosh.
Yeah, I am.
If you would, pay me X dollars per hour, it's going to take me about 12 hours to fix this slow machine, or you can go ahead and spend that money on a new one.
That's frustrating. Have you ever been to somebody's house to fix it when they're on dial-up? That's even worse.
We quit doing that. We officially told customers that we will charge you a flat rate if you allow us to come pick it up and bring it to our shop and fix it and bring it back. I will not. If they demand us to be on site, I tell them I'm going to charge you per hour.
Yeah, Slick is. You've gone through that too, haven't you?
Oh yeah, we're still going through that. We're going through that now. I got a couple. They're the oldest, sweetest couple.
They always are.
Really are.
Yeah.
But I tried to explain to them. They go, I said, so who's your internet service provider? Well, we plug it into the phone line, and all right. And what comes up on the screen? Well, there's AOL. And we're like, oh my God. So, okay. Tell you what, bring it in the shop. We'll see what I can do.
Net Zero Free is the worst that I think is out there.
They still exist?
Yeah.
Yeah, Net Zero still exists.
And it's full of ads. It's full of, I would look at it, if I wasn't, knowledgeable, I would look at it and say, oh, this is all spyware. This is adware. Look at this. But that's, that's how they justify what they charge for it.
Yeah. Hey, what are your thoughts while we got him on the show for a moment? And he's an Apple boy. I got two questions, subjects I want to bounce off of him. One, what do you think about this whole Apple update deal that Andy and I and Justin were talking about earlier?
The Apple update.
Yeah, going up the line.
Mac has always pushed their products where you had to go directly back to their store to get it. It's the same as the iPad and the iPhone. Their OS has always been in that structure. I think it's their way of preventing people from pirating their software as well. I mean, as long as you have to go back to their store, log in with your username and password, and then download, they're able to track you and tracks pirating a lot better. Right. And that's how it's been. So I don't see anything. I don't see anything new happening. I see it as a transition that's still going, or progression, I should say.
Okay, so in general, they don't, like for operating system upgrades and updates, they don't push it out through DVDs, CDs, all that. I mean, that's done, no more.
I wouldn't say it's done, but I think that Mac has always tried to be on the forefront of e-commerce style transactions where they push it over the internet. I mean, from day one that I remember, even before 10, they were one of the first ones that made you get all your updates directly from their store,
right?
Or their business model has always been that way.
Because if you're on DSL, I mean, I could see where, and I've read some reports where for some people it's been painful. I mean, they're just like, oh, for crying out loud, it's going to take me forever.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at Windows, y'all were talking about the Vista update issue.
Yeah.
I just have a customer that asked me to fix their Vista machine. I put it on our workbench. I finally got it to boot back up, and I don't know when the last time they had this thing online, but it pushed 7 gigs of updates.
Boy, isn't that crazy?
7 gigs.
Yeah.
No joke.
That's a couple days, isn't it?
Well, it took me about 4 hours. My internet connection is pretty good here.
Yeah.
It was horrible though. I mean, I'm like, are you serious? And Macs are the same way. I mean, Macs, they continually. I went over to a customer's place that had a Mac, and it was the same thing. She had probably 400 megs of updates, and I'm like, really? And she's on wireless in the house, and so, she's got cable and then the wireless, and she's like, why does it take us so long? Why is it faster at your house? And I'm like, well, I'm wired in.
Who is?
Anytime you go wireless, I don't care if you're using a 300 in, you're not going to get that same bandwidth if it's a physical connection.
Who is your net provider there in Texas?
Time Warner.
Time Warner. So Time Warner's got a pretty good service. From what I remember of them in the Coachella Valley, they had a pretty good reputation.
I wouldn't say. Well, I hate I hate playing them up. I can't stand them as a business practice because I just think they overcharge and underdeliver when it comes to a lot of things. But you're right when you say that they give you plenty of bandwidth to do your business.
Right.
But aren't they going to meter you?
They have tried.
Yeah, they're starting to do that with Comcast now. And I went online and the other day and looked to see where am I at as far, because I upload a lot of video files, download a lot of video files for work that I do in my video editing business. And, so you guys don't think I'm downloading movies or porn or whatever. And because of that, my cap is set at 250 gigabytes per month. I'm running about 150, 160, right around there. And that's still quite a bit. That's more than the average user. But for somebody who wants to stream 24/7, they're going to tap that cap.
Well, yeah. They hit us up, not Time Warner, but AT&T actually. I don't want to move around, but AT&T did the same thing to our son on his phone. We have an unlimited data plan on all of our iPhones. We have 5 iPhones on a single plan, and they actually called us and said that he was using a jailbroken phone to tether his computer.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, wait a minute. How do you know this? And they're like, well, we can tell by his bandwidth usage. And I said, well, why does his bandwidth usage matter when I'm on an unlimited plan? And then they said, well, we're limiting them. And I said, well, when I'm paying for an unlimited and the words doesn't say limited, then we can talk. And I hung up on them. And I haven't heard from them since.
Yeah.
But,
yeah,
that's the same way we're doing here. We had to pay the higher price. I pay like $70 a month just for internet to have the gamer/business package.
Right.
Because I don't want to be limited.
I got to tell you, I went to a friend's house the other day. I thought this was kind of interesting. We both know. Matter of fact, tonight on the big screen, 40 foot high, you get a chance to see Slick with his full hairdo in Ahem Mayhem, the story of Power 1490. It's a movie that our friend R. Williams put together. And I've seen it. I burned the Blu-ray master for the screening tonight, which I'm hoping everything goes well with at the screening. But he has a home studio where he can do a radio show in San Diego. And they provided, not only does he have regular internet so he can do his surfing and do whatever, but they provided one special line. It's not like a T1. It's actually better than a T1 if you think about it. That is just from him to his router to San Diego, to the station in San Diego. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if Comcast or Cox or Time Warner let people know that they can have that capability, especially in a business environment.
Was that the Quest Fiber?
It's not Quest. It's Comcast.
It was a direct connect though. It wasn't something that I mean. Like I have VPN connections to customers,
right,
that are coming out of my office, but I asked them for a dedicated channel, not shared over the same circuitry. But I don't care if you live in your suburb, you're going to share that pipe going out because they don't segment them the same way that telephones used to do. Telephone lines, you'd have slices of pairs, and they're at least able to split you off at the switch and designate that pair of copper to go directly to where you want it to go. Cable doesn't have that same true capability.
Well, it's one thing we did with Gloria. She had a medical billing business for a while, and I guess some other people could do this too. We paid for two we had 2 IPs. So one of those IPs we just strapped from directly out of the line into a hub, a switch, I should say, and then it went into her own router directly to her own computer. So that tied her off the network, per se. But what you're saying is it would have been even more secure to do it on a different type of service?
I had a T1 here that was directly piped. I noticed DD Tech was talking about those as well. Tie lines, T1 lines, and then they started giving us these quasi fiber lines called DS3s, which are about 3 megs instead of 1, like a T1.
Right.
And those are straight over copper. Now, Comcast and Time Warner, I've asked them for both, and they straight tell me it's fiber. So are you sure that good gentleman doesn't have a fiber line? Even though it's a slower link?
Well, I do know he said that if, like, say residential went out, his would stay on. So I guess maybe it is some kind of a separate...
It's got to be, because, I mean, I can get a business connection even in my home that's on a separate pipe because we have fiber up to the street. So I could get a fiber line, or I could get a analog/digital T1 type copper line and have my cable line.
The thing is if you have the money to support it, it's one of those things. Is money coming in?
Mom makes me well.
Yeah, but is enough money coming in? Yes, probably. I'm sure. There's so this is a great business, a great time to be in the business too, because people are still holding on to their older computers and they're still wanting that knowledge. And if you have that knowledge, Slick, you know this because you're just starting to get into doing this tech stuff right now. If you have that knowledge, you are invaluable to people, the average consumer that just doesn't want to read and doesn't want to go online and watch YouTube videos. They'll just call somebody, say, come fix it. You go in there and you fix it for a flat fee. They're happy.
Yeah, and it looks like is what I'm kind of getting into because, like I said, during the week I've been staying with my friend trying to help him with his business, and every day I get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into it. I mean, I'm managing his professional calendar, his personal calendar. I'm ordering phone lines for him. He's given me his office, his home office, so I've moved in. He's talking about putting in. He wanted me to actually do some research about faster line. He wants to know if he can get fiber in his office for me. So, it's about to get nuts around here.
I would like to just register to become a student at the U of A just so I have that high-speed university line, which is like...
that internet, too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like OC3, I think, or maybe it's OC12. It's
OC3, OC12 area, yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about speeds that would just...
45 megs and plus.
That'd make your hair curl.
Yeah, well, my hair would curl definitely, but I don't know about yours.
But you keep it on the inside. I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Broadway.
I can tell you that back in the day when we set up an ISP in South Texas, OC3 and DS3s, or let's just say OC3s, were running about $45,000 a month, and now you can get one for less than $5,000 a month.
And that's where you become a hosting provider, like a GoDaddy or something along that line.
You can do whatever the heck you want to do with an OC3. You could be the best little fill in the blank in your area.
That's funny.
South Korea has been kept coming up in conversations this week with all kinds of people. Everybody's they're just grinding their teeth. South Korea's got better internet service throughout the entire country than we do. How can this be possible?
When you think about it, the first true internet service in the country, somebody told me was Tennessee.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and you think about it, you think, well, Tennessee,
they always start in the rural areas. It's cheaper,
right? And then expand from there. Yeah,
and then they test it. They know those people aren't going to complain to them because is it not working? They don't have anything to plug into it.
We just lost an entire state of listeners.
I'm official. I was born and raised in the South. But they do. They start off in these rural areas. I mean, we have a rollout going on just about 50 miles from here out in the middle of the boonies that they're testing literally fiber to the home. And you're talking speeds of OC3. You're talking 45 megs or more capable. And they're doing it for less than $200 a month, all inclusive with TV, phone, internet, streaming of purchasable products.
Right.
It's crazy. And of course, as soon as they do the bugs, they work the kinks and things, they then go into the big market and roll it out and make plenty of money.
The funny thing is, I got to tell you, I think it's kind of humorous the way we look at traditional phone services now. They can't compete. I don't think they can compete. People say, you got it. I don't think they can.
I got history there, Andy.
I'm trying to remember.
You didn't know, my dad was a Southwestern Bell employee for 20 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
He's the one that taught me how to do this stuff. My dad, I credit for teaching me how to be a tech because When I was 8 years old, my dad was hurt on the job with Southwestern Bell before they split up and became the big monopoly merger that they did in the early 80s. My dad taught me how to lay phone lines with him. I did apartment complexes. I was doing all types of stuff. And back then he told me phone lines are the future, son. You need to get into them. And I said, Dad, I'm going to do computers. And he's all, well, anything you do, just make sure it's connected. And I think my dad truly helped me envision that you guys got to look. You can say whatever you want about the telephone company, but they were the first internet.
Yeah.
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 I mean, who people say internet's only been around, Al Gore said he invented the internet. The heck he did. What do you call all of those train stations that had one of these things Morse code across the line?
You got a key? Is that a key? Oh, nice.
So this was the internet.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. This was the internet in the 1800s and 1900s. That's how we communicated from town to town, from person to person. And then phones have been around forever too, passing information. So the only difference is we're digital.
Right. That's
Where's
it.
my key? I used to have a key.
Now, I agree with you. Because cable has only been around since the 80s, been in the ground since the late 70s, early 80s, they have an advantage. The infrastructure's newer, it's not as old, but while they're doing this, telephone has been pushing fiber and also laying new cable across their land. And understand, AT&T and all these telcos own a lot more land than Time Warner.
Well, that's a good point. But when you get into an office and you look at for example, I'm becoming a partner in a company, and we have offices. We have like 12 offices. So I went there yesterday for a site check, and we're trying to figure out how we're going to do our wiring, how we're going to do our phone system. And the talk has been, let's go with VoIP. Let's go with a VoIP system or an office system that we can control via, the net and then disperse amongst, the offices. And we're looking at it, and we're looking at a couple of different systems. And then they showed me the old phone bank, that has the old pegboards and the whole bit. Yeah. And, really, it is going to be easier to do it through a VoIP system.
No, I agree with you that the phones companies, unless they change and make themselves more digital, they're not going to make it. But they are. I mean, trust me, I don't like defending AT&T either. I'm an anarchist when it comes to these big conglomerates because I really feel that they block all of us smaller companies from being able to make a living. But they have to move out of that realm. I mean, half of my VoIP customers that I've put phone systems in for use Time Warner or a Comcast, and it's still coming over cable. But then you plug into that, you take that analog signal and put it right back into a VoIP system, so it's a hybrid. It's not true VoIP. The only true VoIP systems you got out there are people like 8x8 and those other guys that still use your internet connection.
Like Vonage.
And then, and like Vonage. And then I still worry about all your eggs in one basket because if your internet goes down, your whole shop's down.
Yeah.
But at least with you bringing in the signal over, whether it's Time Warner, Comcast, or AT&T, and then plug it into a VoIP system that's local, you at least can say, hey, I'm still internally able to have my phones, even if the internet goes down.
Right. And that's what we're seeing companies now, satellite delivering this information. So that way you have your internet on one channel, you have your phones on another.
Exactly.
So it's kind of interesting how they do that.
I wouldn't recommend any other way.
Right. Well, tell you what, I think, was there anything you wanted to add, Slick?
I just wanted to get a couple of quick comments from him about Jolly Cloud and Ubuntu.
Oh,
Jolly Cloud and Ubuntu. Ubuntu is one of the best Linux operating systems around.
But is that because it's so commercial friendly? I mean, it's pretty much easy installation, easy to kind of get in and start doing things.
No, it's security based. They have been one of the most rock hard, solid, secured Linuxes out there from day one.
Yeah.
Their passion was to bring a FreeBSD type of security into the Linux world, and that's to me is why they are who they are. I've never used them from a commercial perspective because I was always more flavored of Red Hat, and that's why I leaned more towards CentOS because it was a derivative of the Red Hat era. Mm-hmm. But all of my friends, all of my hacker buddies, all the real geeks of Linux world use Ubuntu.
Okay. What do you think about Jolly Cloud? Have you tried that yet?
No, I have my own version of Cloud, so I haven't tried Jolly.
What is Jolly Cloud? I've never even heard of it.
Jolly Cloud is a distro of Linux that well, there are two major flavors, two major versions, I should say. One is basic ISO where you can install it on the computer and just use it. It's really, think of it as Google Chrome, one step above. I mean, so they also provide some applications within there, but it's really tied to the cloud storage, Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. They also have a version which I had been using, but I uninstalled it. I used what I call a side-by-side, where it installs right into Windows, and then when you reboot the computer, at the boot menu, you get an option of whatever operating systems you've installed plus Jolly Cloud. And I could go straight to Jolly Cloud. It's a fast load, but again, it's all mostly web-based, if not all web-based. The problem I had with it on one of my computers was it kept resetting my BIOS clock.
That's not good, is it?
It was just annoying.
To what year? Maybe it was a time machine. Maybe you should have let it go, and you would have walked out your door and been in 1975.
It was not a steampunk version of Linux.
Marty!
The cloud. I think the cloud is. It's amazing what marketing can do for us in this world.
Yeah.
Because the cloud has truly just been something that we've been using for years, but now it's been labeled and identified as a cloud. And now you have everybody in their bandwagon jumping on it and coming up with these versions. And I try to stay away from a lot of these little applets. I mean, because that's truly what it is. It's an applet it's a web-based applet server.
Right. Wouldn't you rather store that on your own personal machine that you can access via a VPN?
You got it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm still a purist, I guess. I'm not so much of allowing. I hear a lot of companies going, I want to get in the cloud. And I'm like, okay, do you know who else is over there? Because it's realistically, a lot of your customer base will come to you and tell you, I really like this. And they have no clue technically of what the heck they're talking about because they've just seen it on a commercial and they just know it has to happen. And that has gotten me into more trouble with customers by allowing it. And early on in my career, I used to say no. I used to say yes to everything and never learned how to say no. And I finally have learned to tell them, look, if that's what you want to do, we're not the company.
Yeah.
We technically will give you a solution that fits your need. That's what we do. And if it doesn't work, we have no problem with referring you to someone that will do it for you.
If there's ever a data error, you could always say, well, you really wanted to be in the cloud. Well, you remember that big lightning storm?
I don't trust many cloud providers, but I can tell you that my provider that I use has been pretty good, and they're a really great company. So
right,
they have hosted my servers for 10 plus years. They're fairly expensive, but they have their stuff together, and they're just the same level as like Amazon and those other big guys.
Well, I think what you have a lot of corporate America now that is saying, well, we need to be on the cloud because that's the trends. That's what they read about in the magazines. Yet they don't realize if they hired the proper IT guy, they could have that capability within their own building and, of course, secured and locked down. But again, it's going to be hire an IT guy, pay him enough money, keep him happy, and he will be your keymaster for as long as you decide to keep him employed.
Well, half these companies are you're right. Half of them have at least, let's just say a company of 100 employees probably has 5 to 10 rack servers sitting in there.
Right.
Their environment. Okay, now you want to put that stuff out on the internet. It's somebody else managed building because it costs less, in your opinion, than what it is. Okay. Well, how about you get rid of those 15 techs you have over there because you only need one for every 10 and drop it down to, 10 techs and put in your own cloud on your own 2 different servers or 3 different servers, put a redundant power supply in there, and then put a VPN on it.
Right.
It's the same difference. You just got to, it's unfortunately in our tech world, you got guys that are, once they get in the job, they get comfortable or they get overloaded with day-to-day tasks and they're not allowed to see outside of the box and become professional. They become fix, repair, PC, local, handle the issues. I'm not able to come outside of my box. They don't send them to shows. They don't send them to the tech conventions. They don't allow them to go out and really explore what's out there to help their company succeed.
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you what, I would definitely want to have you on again. Slick, are you going to the movie tonight? Do you know?
I'm planning on getting a ride down there. I missed the dinner last night. Everybody's at the little meal thing, and but I'm going to try. I'm planning to go tonight. I'm supposed to go to like a pre-thing, and then the movie, and then there's supposed to be a post thing, and then I guess we're hanging out at Sapphire Nightclub.
Punch it.
Well, hopefully they'll be playing some of the music that we used to play because
I think
I
they
have
will.
never been a big fan of no matter what decade we're talking about. I've never been a big fan of dance music. I like certain songs, I like certain genres, but anything that was generally classified under dance music,
What's your flavor, Slick?
Yeah.
ELO and Parliament.
Really?
What a
Yeah.
combination.
Funkadelic Master?
Yeah, baby. General Get Down, Commander Ball, Funk Force.
George Clinton, my house. Come on.
That's funny. All right. Well, I think the movie's going to go well. Again, that screening is tonight. I love it because I'm finding out that I'm one of the few guys in Tucson that deals with Blu-ray, and there's a lot of people here that don't do it. And
Really?
yeah, and I think in other parts of the country that's considered, that's normal. It's the new trend. It's what people are doing. I got a job last night. I created 10 Blu-ray masters for a guy that is submitting to film festival. So it gave me a chance to meet another filmmaker, but also to do work. And so now we're looking at it and saying, well, it's time to start investing in equipment. So for mass duplication. So we'll be like one of the few that are doing Blu-ray here in town. I love it.
I just watched my first Blu-ray movie last night.
What'd you think? Could you tell the difference?
Not real. I don't think so. I don't.
What TV
think
were
the
you
movie
using?
Yeah, I was using a little 12-inch.
No, he's got an HD TV, large screen.
HDMI?
40. I think it's 40, 50 inches, something like that. And it was Megamind, the cartoon.
Right.
You won't be able to tell the difference on that.
No, it'd be a little smooth. Well, it wouldn't even be smooth.
Well,
Yeah, you're right.
You
You're
have
not
to
going
be looking at the subtleties of the smoothness. You went right to it, Andy. I mean, because those cartoon-based HD Blu-ray, it all looks.
Your sound can be better because it's processed with that DTS sound. That could be a difference, but you want to see a picture. You want to be looking at a movie with bright colors. Like you want to be with a lot of face, a lot of that's where you're going to see it. It's going to be just it's going to jump out at you almost.
As I
Well,
tell
we
people,
also
start
we
with
also picked up a Blu-ray copy of Iron Man 2, which I still haven't seen yet. So
that one you'll notice.
You'll notice it. Yeah, you will definitely. And that's if they had Twister. You remember Twister when it first came out on Blu-ray? That was the one that people were like, ooh, it's so dark and everything. They've perfected that process now, so I think I think you're gonna be really pleased with it.
Did you know, Andy, that Michelle has over 1,300 movies?
Really?
My gosh, man!
VHS, DVD.
That is her fix now.
Are they all on DVD?
Every one of them, and then she probably has over 100 Blu-rays. I mean, she started her collection 6 years ago,
right?
And every Tuesday she'll go out and buy the new releases. And then as soon as Blu-ray started coming out, she started buying the Blu-rays as they popped out.
Now, do you take them? Do you take them and put them onto storage, digital storage, or are you just leaving them?
I tried. You try putting 1,300 DVDs on digital storage.
Well,
you know how many terabytes that is?
It's quite a bit, isn't it?
It's almost 20 terabytes now.
Well, you got the servers, don't you?
I live in Texas. Electric bills are pretty high if you start getting. I don't care where you are. You put in a 20 terabyte. You put in that many different terabytes of servers.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm using little iOmega boxes or if I just build a big multi-rack. I'm gonna die from the electrical.
I love the Western Digital. I have the Western Digital TV thing. I think it was $99. You can't beat that. 2 terabytes. And you could store it on there. You could download stuff. You can get onto Facebook if you need to. That to me is like the best. I love it.
You know what?
You can hold like 100. How many is it?
I think I have like 25 movies on there
Yeah.
that I've been able to rip and put onto the player.
How much room you got left?
I still got quite a bit of room. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love it. So
yeah, I think honestly I think the real number I was up to was 12 terabytes to put her whole collection on.
That's crazy.
We just installed a Pogo plug here in the house, so we'll see how that goes as far as file sharing multimedia throughout the house as well as beyond the house. Also, we're not going to have time to do this today. I was thinking we were going to get time to do it today, but later on in one of the shows, we stopped by Blockbuster last night to pick up these 2 Blu-ray DVDs. These 2 Blu-ray discs.
Blu-ray discs, yeah. Wait, Blockbuster? They're still open?
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to get into. I think we could have a long conversation because we've talked about Netflix and everybody else. But the whole time we were walking around the store, Jose, the friend of mine, we were having these conversations about what they were doing, what they could do right, and what they're really doing wrong.
I think what they're doing wrong, they're closing. That's
Well, I could share when you guys were bringing up that Netflix thing 2 shows ago. I was letting you guys know that I used to work in a building in Northern California where Netflix started. So I actually got their inside scoop when they started because they actually took 3 or 4 of our employees. They actually joined them, and I was offered a job too, and I turned it down because I didn't think it was a great idea. Stupid person I am. That's a show in itself, a discussion you could have around that whole model, because that is why Blockbuster and how many other ones? What were there, like 4 different?
There was
Yeah,
Hollywood,
houses?
right?
Hollywood Video, Blockbuster, and
Movie
then,
Gallery.
Movie Gallery.
Yeah.
Those 3 alone are dying, or 2 have died, and 1's going out the door.
yeah.
I think it's
And-
just rolling over, if you ask me. That's my short answer on that. I think you're rolling over.
I don't think so. I think that they got surpassed too quickly because they couldn't move their company in a fast enough way, but that then leads into the whole conversation.
All right. Well, we'll continue that conversation at another point. I want to thank you for joining us for Tech Talk Radio Broadway. Great to see you. Great to talk to you again.
Same to you, and hey, Slick, good meeting you, and
You too.
hope to talk to you again.
All right. We'll be back with more Tech Talk Radio during the week, and we'll keep you posted. Visit our website at techtalkradio.com. See you on the big screen tonight, Slick.
All right.
All right. Thanks for joining us.